There is a dance that one day each and every one of us will dance. The dance takes place in a grand ballroom with a fabulous orchestra. The orchestra, I think, actually plays whatever song that the dancers themselves want to hear. And even though I've been to so many of these events, and even though I have the routine down pat, even so, I don't think I can actually recall a single tune ever played by one of the orchestras. You see, you can attend one of these events as a guest of the dancers, or you might just end up in the gallery watching as someone you know or love is dancing. You don't get to dance yourself though until either it is your turn, or you've been invited to be the dance partner of someone you love. When it's my turn to dance, I want to dance with the person I've loved most in this world. And if it is her turn first, I want to be her dance partner, and I want us to dance a waltz, a slow, elegant, flowing, beautiful waltz. It's the spring of 2000, and it's the first time ever that I experience an orchestra forming. And I have to admit, it scares and it confuses me. It all begins with Susan updating me about her annual checkup. "Everything's fine, Sam," she tells me, and then almost as an afterthought, a classic Columbo moment, if you will. "Oh, and just one more thing, Sam. The doctor wants me to see a surgeon to check out something she felt in my right breast. Now, honey, she doesn't think it's anything to worry about. It just felt funny to her." Well, I am surprised, but I'm not worried. After all, it's going to be Susan's 4th breast biopsy. "Don't worry, honey," I try to reassure her. "Remember, you had a mammogram just 2 months ago, and it was normal. Here, let me see if I feel anything. Humor and sex fix everything." The doctor's words, they're strange. A new vocabulary that I don't understand immediately, though their import is clear to me. Stage 3. Why stage 3? Well, because of the size of the tissue with cancer and because there are no margins. Margins? What are margins? Well, now remember, we didn't actually find a tumor, he tells me again. We just removed some breast tissue. Now, a margin would have been where the cancer ended and normal and healthy breast tissue began. But in what we took out of Susan, I'm afraid there was no normal, healthy breast tissue. Well, I now know what these words mean. You see, Susan's mother died of metastasized breast cancer at the age of 56. Susan is 54. I understand that the outcome is inevitable. I can't explain why, or maybe better said, I can't justify why, but I cannot leave Susan alone. I cannot imagine Susan going through this alone. No, my job is to be here with her in this room. My cot sits near the floor on the right side as you face the bed. In the opposite corner on the same side of the room, I've set up a small chair and a table with a computer so I can work and be here at the same time. Susan doesn't react well to the anesthesia. She's nauseated all the time. I hold out one of these small semicircular metal pans for her to throw up. I steady her as she gets up to go to the bathroom with the IV stand and bandages and these 2 small plastic bulbs that hang off of either side of her chest that are filled with a red liquid that I will soon learn how to empty. I don't want to be here. I don't do this stuff well. Hell, I barely changed the kids' diapers, and now I'm helping Susan vomit? I really, really don't want to be here. And yet I don't know where else I could possibly be. I need to talk to someone. Even though it's almost 9 o'clock at night. I wonder whether the rabbi is at the temple. I decide to just stop by, hoping that she's there. After all, it is committee night and she should be there, and I really, really need to talk. The rabbi is at the temple when I arrive, but she doesn't have time for a real talk. She has a family of her own and she needs to get home. She does invite me into her office as she's packing up to go home, and I sit down and begin to tell her, Rabbi, I need to talk about Susan. And she interrupts with, oh, you're sad that Susan's not going to be around to see the grandkids grow up and she won't be at their bar and bat mitzvahs, right? I don't react. I don't say anything. She doesn't get it. She doesn't understand. No, it's none of that. I scream silently. What I need to know is, how am I going to do this? How am I going to dance the last dance with Susan? I need to talk to someone else. So I make an appointment with the psychiatrist I've seen every now and then for the past 20 years. It's been a while. He invites me into his office, and I sit down for what's going to turn out to be our only session. And once again, I cry. And I tell him about the orchestra and the ballroom and the dance and how real it is to me. Secretly, I'm afraid I might be losing my mind, and I wonder, no, I hope that he'll give me a medication. He did that the last time I was going through a transition, and I think that the medication will remove the images, erase the orchestra, and change the future by changing what's going on in my head. And instead, he calls it a metaphor, and he says that it's beautiful. It never occurred to me that the dance was beautiful. I've always feared it as tragic and devastating. His words have a dramatic effect on me. Beauty, dignity. Rather than fearing the inevitable dance, I think I'm going to be able to get ready for the dance. I now understand that the actual dance will be the ultimate consummation of our love.